Good morning. We're live here at Home Built Workshop. Welcome to the live Wednesday live here at Home Built Workshop. I hope all of you are doing awesome today. As we get settled in, get a comfy chair, a stool, whatever. Find you a comfy spot and let's hang out for a while. Talk about shop stuff. What's going on around the shop here? For some reason, it looks darker in the thing today. I don't know why that is. All the lights are on. Oh well, that's fine. What's going on? Sam's here. Sam says, hello. Good morning. Good afternoon, Sam. Sam says it's 4 degrees in the UK. 4 degrees. What's that? About 35, 6, something like that. Not bad. We've got a really warm day in store today, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't even have a beanie on. I had one on earlier, but it got too warm. It's pretty amazing. Neptunes is here. Neptune says, hey, Sam and Jeff. Neptunes is cold. Neptunes, good morning. How are you doing today? Right on. Can you hear me okay? Using this thing again. Just let me know. Neptunes, how cold are you down there? We're supposed to be like, I don't know, maybe even 70 today. Mid-60s, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that? 15 to 20 Celsius? Thereabouts? Yeah. Somewhere around 18 to 20 Celsius, I think we're supposed to get. Makes my brain, I gotta work, try to get that Celsius. But I'm trying. Oh, let's see here. And Robert's here. Robert says, hello folks, 46 degrees here in Orlando, Oklahoma. Not Florida, Oklahoma. And Paul's here. Paul says, hello all. Hope it stays quiet while this is going on. I do too, Paul, so you can hang out with us. Those computers can wait. Neptune says, I'm good, loud and clear, 53 degrees. That's not bad. That's probably what we're at right now. And there's Harry Dude. Harry Dude from Australia. Harry Dude says, what's up? Hello, everyone. I love that. What's up? Makes me think of those frogs every time. What's up? Sam says, plenty of mugs of tomato soups. Yes, to keep you warm. We had some soup weather this, I don't know, the last 4 or 5 days has been chilly. I made a big pot of soup as well. I don't know why soup is so good when it's cold, but it sure is. Neptune says, hello, everyone. Right on. Right on. So what are y'all working on? You guys have any projects in the works? What are you trying to tackle? Robert says, yeah, I'm pretty sure the Florida Orlando would be a bit warmer than here. Agreed. It probably would. Right on. Well, if you saw, we're just going to jump right in while you guys are letting me know what projects you're working on. Acoustic. I'm working on the acoustic. Working on level sanding the finish. We're going to get this sucker polished up today. Almost done with the top. There's just a few spots. I don't know if I can get them to show up in here. Probably not because I can barely see them. Anyway, there's just a few spots that I'm working on leveling out. And then we're going to hit it with the polisher. It's time to complete this project. Got some more sanding to do on the back. I've done the first round of leveling, but I got a little water on there yet. But we're getting it polished up. I got the headstock or the neck leveled out. It might have well, I thought I just saw a little shiny spot on there, but maybe not. Might have a little bit more to do on that, but it's ready. I'm not even sanding this part of the neck. It turned out really flat, and I'm gonna just hit it with some polish and see how it works without level sanding. I might need to do a little bit here, but I'm gonna try it and see. Pretty happy with the way the finish laid down on this part. But yeah, hopefully by the end of today, hopefully sooner really, but hopefully by the end of today at the latest, we'll have 2 shiny bits, and I can peel all this tape off of here and maybe get the neck glued on. Not sure, but at least it'll get shined up. That's my goal for today. Make this thing super shiny. I was hoping to have this done last week, but as in life, just things throw you off, right? Happens all the time, doesn't it? You're kind of cruising along and something comes out of the blue and throws you for a loop. And that thing this last week for us was we had the transmission go out in one of our vehicles. That that wasn't fun. So now we're in the process of trying to decide whether or not to, swap it out or just get something new. But all the quotes and stuff that I'm getting back doesn't really make it feasible to spend the kind of money that I'm getting quotes for to put a transmission in this vehicle. But just one of those things that I wasn't expecting, and had to spend some time getting the thing to different shops and talking with different people, and that was a drag. And yeah, we still haven't quite got things figured out on that, but we will. And yeah, just one of those things. Plus, I started another project. We'll get to that. I'll get to that in a second. That kind of put me behind too, but I'll explain there for a minute. In a minute. Sam says, I'm working on staying warm. Now, that's not a bad thing to be working on. Paul says, making a segmented bowl for a Christmas present. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the picture you posted. I don't know if it was this morning, but I saw it this morning. And I was curious, what program are you using there? I tried to zoom in on the thing and I couldn't make it out. So yeah, curious as to what you're using to design that thing. Paul says, nice. Yes, the acoustic. We're almost there, Paul. My goal is the end of the year. And as of right now, I don't see why we can't get that done. Sam says, Jeff, this is the perfect type of weather for the flamethrowers firing out of the end of the guitar. Did you see that video? I forget who did that, like a few years ago. Was it Colin Furs, maybe? I can't remember, but he built something like that. Neptune says, I'm working on getting one of my computers running TrueNAS. I wish I had an IT guy I could chat with. IT guys, any IT guys in the house that could help Neptunes out? I think I might know someone, Neptunes. Yeah, I've thought about that TrueNAS. I don't know anything about it, so I'm not really going to be any help with that. But I've seen that, and it seems like a pretty good option. I keep going back and forth with my storage, for videos and stuff, and I keep coming across that, and I keep thinking, I might just take an old tower that I have and throw a whole bunch of hard drives in there, and set it up with TrueNAS and make my own NAS. Those when you start looking at those like Synologies and all those disk stations or whatever they're called, they're really expensive. But that's what makes me keep wanting to try to maybe make my own. I've got an old tower, that I could load up with a bunch of hard drives, but still the hard drives get a little bit expensive once you start getting to the size that I would like them to be at. I don't know. Hopefully you can find an IT guy that could help you. Hint. Scott's here. Scott says, hi there. Actually made it. Right on, Scott. Good morning. I hope you're doing good. Glad you made it in. Instead of having to always watch the replay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's much more fun when we can all hang out together. And Mike's here. Mike says, morning. Morning, Mike. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Hope your day's going good. Paul says, I use Woodturner Pro. It previews the woods, prints out templates for cutting the segments, as well as tons of other things. Interesting. I have not heard of that. I might have to look into that. Not that I do a whole lot of turning or anything, but... Robert says, I bought a guitar kit and giving it a bit of time to even out climate-wise before I start doing anything with it. Had it about a week. It's called an offset hardtail, mahogany body, maple neck. Cool. Sounds nice. I want to build an offset. There's something kind of cool about an offset. Sam says, computers are wonderful when they work, but otherwise, a pain in the behind. They can definitely be a pain in the behind, that's for sure. Hair Dude says, got an engine I'm getting machined at the moment, waiting for them to contact me with the end result and price. Oh, cool, Hair Dude. What kind of engine is it? Are you building an engine and all that? That's awesome. I guess I wasn't aware that that you did that kind of stuff as well. I love working on engines, all different kinds. That's cool. We need more details. Are you building the burnout car? Mike says, well, I wish I was an IT guy. I'm using a Synology drive and, gonna have to resolve some permission issues on Linux. Mint. I've not used Mint. Yeah, I've been having trouble with my USB drive. My router, that does the Wi-Fi and everything also has USB ports, like, is pretty common on routers these days, it seems. But I have an external USB hard drive plugged into it, and for some reason, it keeps cutting out. I don't know why. Like it just kind of disappears, and I have to go in and kind of restart everything, and then it shows up and I can access it again. But I have automated backups run from my computer, and it runs to 2 different USB hard drives. Every night it runs this backup. And one of them's plugged directly into the computer, so that one doesn't ever lose its connectivity, but I have this other one that's on the network, and that one always loses its connection, and then it can't run the backup, and I can't figure out why it keeps doing that all of a sudden. It was fine for years, but now it's, every once in a while, I just have to go in and restart things. I don't understand it. Darn things. Sam says it's mostly solid-state drives rather than hard drives. True, but it seems like when you get to the bigger capacities, like I'm looking at 10 to 20 terabyte size hard drive. I'd love to go even larger, but I don't see solid states in that size. Not that they don't exist, but it seems like when you get to the larger capacities, it's still like the old school ones. I don't know. That might change though in time. Scott says, I've been looking at TrueNAS, and I think I'm going with Synology. Provides an answer that works without trying to figure it out. They have 2 base systems for $299. Yeah, I've seen some of those. It's not bad. But you still have to buy the hard drives, I believe, right? To put in them. So yeah, $299 is not bad for the thing. For the chassis, I guess you'd call it. Scott says, and Seagate has 12 terabyte for $139. Really? I wonder if sounds like maybe the price has come down since I've looked. It's been probably 4 or 5 months since I've looked at those. That sounds fairly reasonable. Interesting. Yeah, that's not a bad price. Slap 2 of those in a Synology. Yeah, that's not bad. I could work with 12 terabytes. I'm gonna have to go back on there and look. Robert says rosewood. His kit has a rosewood fretboard. The frets are real rough and would shred your fingers right now if someone tried to play it. Yeah, that's easy to clean up. A little bit of file work and you'll have that sucker playing great. Sam says starts getting dark in the UK at around 4 p.m. Same here. At 4 o'clock, the sun is very low, just peeking over the mountains. Yeah, and it's really going down pretty quick. But thankfully, here's a little ray of hope. Maybe the 21st of this month is the shortest day of the year. After that, our days get longer, and I can't wait. Paul says to Neptune, sorry, haven't used that software, mostly used the Seagate option and connected to them by IP. Sorry, Neptunes, I tried. Paul says, sounds like Homebuilt Workshop needs to be rebuilt transmission workshop. Yes, I keep going back and forth on that. I could take the thing out. I could probably take it apart. The downside, the challenge, is that I don't have a garage I can pull it in. And I've done a lot of work to vehicles over the years, laying in the snow in the middle of winter. And when it's 20 degrees outside and you're trying to take the bolts out and drop a transmission or something, it's horrible. I mean, I did it back in the day because it was necessity, right? We had our, little hot rods that we've, hacked together, and you just had to keep them up and running. But part of me says I should still do that, but I don't know. It is not convenient, not even a little bit. But yeah, I can't quite make a clear decision yet as to whether I should try to change this transmission that went out or not. I'm like right in the middle. If there was a line, I'm right in the middle of the line. The cost to have a shop replace it is way too much, and I don't want to spend that kind of money. But then I think about, well, what about swapping a used one in, and just to get by for another year or two maybe. And part of me is kind of okay with that, but I don't know. The vehicle's got a bazillion miles on it. It doesn't owe us anything, but it runs great, and that's what really bothers me. And it doesn't burn oil or anything like that. I don't know. It's just a drag. It's a drag, Paul. The darn transmissions. Ritesh says, any new projects for Christmas? At the moment, right now, I'm back on the acoustic. I'm going to try to get that done. But I did start a couple other projects, but they're not really Christmas projects. At the moment, I don't really have I don't have any Christmas projects on the bench. I should have, because it's that time of year. But I don't really at the moment, just because I got this other stuff that I'm trying to get done. And I don't know, as we get closer over the next, 3 weeks or so from now, I might get something in the works, but at this exact moment, I don't have any specific Christmas projects going, which I'm kind of feeling bad about. I feel like I should have, but oh, don't worry, I'm going to get caught up with the comments. I'm scrolling back up to catch up with everybody. Mega Wood says, hey Jeff, what's going on? Good morning. Sam says, blame Microsoft for computer issues. They've changed things. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of progress, right, I guess. Mike says, RAID 5 with the larger capacity. Oh, sorry. I'm probably just cleared my throat in your ear. Mark says, biggest solid state drive I've seen is 16.3. Hideously expensive though. Yes, I can imagine. Harry Dude says, it's a Holden 308. Oh, it's a 5-liter V8 for my project car. I can work on engines, but a good friend is building it for me, so I know it will be done properly. Right on. That's awesome. A Holden 308. I might have to... Oh, the 308 is the engine. Holden is basically Ford, correct? Is it Ford? I can't remember. Correct me on that one. That's cool. Paul says, have a NAS with a bad drive at the moment. Received 16 terabyte drive from Seagate and it won't spin up. Bad drive. Waiting on replacement. That's a drag. I've had that happen one time where I ordered a hard drive and it arrived DOA. Mike says, but need 4-bay systems. That's what I want, is a 4-bay system. At least a 4-bay. I want to at least do, two banks of drives. I want one drive for like video backups, and I want another set for another pair for like personal documents and stuff. So 2 separate instances, 2 separate drives, I guess. Robert says, most likely some update might have caused your network drive connection issues. Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out. I don't know why. I just can't seem to find the thing. Robert says, is the transmission an automatic or standard? It's an automatic. Excuse me. I think it's a, what is that thing called? It's a Ford CD4E or something like that. I think that's what it is, CD4E. Automatic transmission, 4-speed, overdrive, typical automatic transmission these days, really. But it's got 256,000 miles on it. But yeah, I just keep going back and forth on that. Paul says, changed out a starter on Christmas Eve on my grandma's 73 Eldorado, lying in the rocks in the cold. Yeah, working inside is nicer. It is. It's much nicer. I mean, I remember that a starter is one thing that I specifically remember laying in a snowbank in my driveway in the home I grew up in, laying in snow, up underneath the car. There's snow and ice dripping off of it, and you're changing a starter. And a transmission one time, laying in the snow. Or maybe it wasn't the whole transmission, but I remember I had the pan off. Maybe it was a filter or something I was changing, and it was laying in the snow, and it was just terrible. Now, Paul said, buy one from the junkyard. I've been thinking about that. The problem that I'm running into is I can't find a shop that will put in a used one. The place that does most of our repair work that I don't do myself, they won't. They will only put in remanufactured ones. I talked to a couple different transmission shops. Well, I called a couple different transmission shops, spoke with one of them yesterday. They rebuild them, and it sounds like they do some upgrades. They won't put in a used one, which I get it, right? You don't know what you're getting when you go to the junkyard and you buy one. You don't know. Is it on its last leg, or has it got 100,000 miles left on it? You don't know, and the shops, a lot of them I'm finding won't do that because, well, I get it. It's their shop name on the line, and I understand that. But if I could find somebody, I think, if I could find a shop that would source a good used one and put it in, that's probably what I would do right now, just to get it. If it lasts another year or two, I'd be totally fine with that. But I can't find a shop that'll do that. And that's kind of, again, I understand, but it's kind of frustrating. And I'm hesitant to, I know there's some backyard type shops around that do work for people, and I'm a little bit hesitant to do that, but I don't know. Years ago, I had a little German car that I was driving when I first moved out here to Colorado. It was this little BMW thing. It's super fun, but and there's a place that works on import cars, and they would do that all the time. You know, they would source the parts. You know, I had the what was that? I had the rear end. They had to replace the whole rear end, transaxle, whatever it is, and you know, they found the used one and they put it in, and it was perfectly fine. And that's what I would like to find to do this, but I don't know. It's turning into more of a headache. Bavovina says, hello, my friend. Good morning to you. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Sam says, if a perfectionist carpenter doesn't like cutting corners within his profession, how do they do angels? I don't know. Question of the day. Neptune says, man, I missed a lot. Pesky work interrupted me. I missed from my last comment. Well, hold on, Neptunes. I didn't realize you were gone. Did I cover your last? Oh, yeah, you did. There's a lot of comments there. Mike says a 2-bay system would use one of the drives as a backup. I purchased the Synology 220 Plus as a 2-bay using RAID 1. Couldn't justify the cost needed for RAID 5 with 4 drives using it for surveillance. Oh, yeah. And the disk station has a lot of excellent tools. Yeah. So I think I would be okay using the 2-drive RAID. What is that, RAID 1? Is that RAID 1? I don't remember. Yeah, so your storage is on one and it backs it up basically on the second one. I'd be totally fine with that. Just having that redundancy there. Neptune says, I have a 4-bay rack mount NAS in RAID 5. Is 5 the one that uses 3? Where it's, I can't remember. You guys are going to have to correct me. I'm going to screw this all up. Is RAID 5 the 3-drive setup where it splits it on the 2 and then backs it up on the 1 or something like that? You'll have to correct me, and I'm probably mixing that all around. Synology 4-bay is 500, Scott says. Sam says, a transmission is a gearbox in the UK. I believe so, yes, Sam. The gearbox, yeah. And Donna's here. Hey, Donna. Donna says, hey, Jeff. Donna, what's going on? How are you doing this fine Wednesday morning? Robert says, I helped change out a CV joint on the front end of one of my cousin's minivan. Now, the front end of the van had some damage, and the tolerances was critical, had to be within a 1/4 inch. Ooh. He says, so when she went to move it after the new joint was installed, it flew apart again. Oh, boy. Oh, that's a drag. Mike says, yes, 5 uses 3. Oh, man, I got it right. Oh, Sam's angle. Oh, gotcha. That makes more sense now. Scott says, RAID 5 has a parity drive. 1 drive can fail and you don't lose anything. Yeah, so 5 is it uses the 2 and then the 1 for the backup. Or something like that. And Jimmer's here. Jimmer says, what's up? What's up, Jimmer? Jimmer, I don't know if you were on just a minute ago when I was talking about it. We were talking about fixing cars in the snow like we used to do back in the day. Jimmer's one of my friends that we used to do that. Laying in the snow, working on your transmission or swapping a starter. Oh boy. Jimmer, we just had the transmission go out in the old Ford, the old CD4E or whatever it is. Talking about transmissions and stuff like that, working on cars in the snow, and how much nicer it is to be able to do that inside. We're at the point, we're at the step here where I need to figure out whether or not we try to replace a transmission or retire the vehicle. Kind of a drag. I think it's from talking with the shops, the 2/4 band in this transmission went out It won't move and drive. It will move though, however, if you pull it down into low and kind of shift it manually, you can get it up into drive. It's not convenient, and nor is it all that fun, but yeah, kind of a drag. So I got to figure out what we're going to do there. And I can't find any shop around here that will that'll just swap in a used one, which I was saying I totally understand, but yeah, it's just a drag. How are you doing today? What are you working on? You working on some cool cars? Neptune says, sorry, work got in the way again. We have tie rod issues on our work truck. Oh, that's better than transmission issues. I can fix a tie rod issue. Robert says, it was also below 0 when I changed the joints out for my cousin. Oh, man. Jim says, what are we talking about? Snow repair sucks. Yes, it does. Paul says, traded in my 04 Harley in March. Police came by yesterday looking for me as the bike was involved in a hit and run. A dealer sold the bike to the employee, but never transferred the title. Oh man, what a drag. Really, the dealer? Seems like those should be the ones who don't typically have those kinds of errors. That stinks. Sam says, I always watch these awesome streams on my Samsung Galaxy tablet. Right on, Sam. Neptune says, I have 2-node storage device from IBM. Would like to know if I can put another OS on. Uses Xeon CPU. I don't know. Not sure on that. Jim says, yeah, they're on the lift. The snow melts all over you. You know, I didn't think about that either. I mean, it's nice to not be laying in the snowbank, but yeah, I guess if you lift it up and put it in the shop, yeah, that's true. See, I don't often get the luxury of working on a lift, so not something I really think of. Robert says to Jim, yeah, that's a very true statement. Jim says, Jasper manufactured 7 year, 70,000 warranty. That is one estimate that I got. The shop that usually does our repairs that I don't do myself, that's the only thing they will do. They won't install anything else. All they'll do is put in a Jasper, reman one. It's like $5,000. So I don't know if this vehicle's worth $5,000 in the transmission. And Jim's working on a Ford Transit van, timing chains. Heritage says Holden is or was the Australian subsidiary of GM. Oh, that's right, GM. I don't know, Ford. I don't remember. What's the Ford one that's over there? Or down there? Or is there one? I'm not sure. Paul says, yep, the title was still in my name until yesterday. They didn't transfer it because employee was paying it out and didn't want to until he paid in full. You got some explaining to do. Yeah. Heritage says Ford is Ford. Oh, okay. I learned something new. I don't know if I knew that. Paul says 5K to fix, no payments on new car. We'll have to weigh that. Yeah, I don't know. And totally wouldn't buy a new one. I would not buy anything with payments for sure. That's just not an option. So, you know, it's go buy something, find something that you can pay for, and yeah, I don't know. But I mean, you make a great point, Paul. I mean, you got to weigh that, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And the numbers, you know, at $5,000 to have a new tranny put in there, I don't know if I'm going to get that much life out of the rest of the vehicle. The vehicle's been great. I have no complaints. But you know, you could put a little bit more to that 5K cost and buy something with quite a few less miles. So it's really tough. You know, I don't know. Jim says, I call it being at the beach. Saltwater breeze, sand in your hair. That's exactly, yeah. You know, all that road salt. Jim says, how many miles on it? 256,000. It's got a lot of miles. The vehicle doesn't owe us anything, but it runs really good. And, you know, it's like right, that many miles, I don't really feel I should put a $5,000 transmission in. But I wouldn't mind if it went another year or two. I don't know. Sam says, this is the perfect time of the year for bacon buddies. Grilled bacon in buttered burger buns with ketchup. Sausage bap is similarly done. Both are delicious. I'm not familiar with either one of those things, Sam, but they both sound amazing. Grilled bacon. So is it just bacon on a bun? That sounds awesome. Oh yeah, I could totally eat that. A sausage bap. What is all on a sausage bap? Sounds good. I like bacon and I like sausage. Mike says 49 degrees with lots of rain moving eastward toward the rest of you all. Huh. Jim says KBB value well under the $5,000 transmission mark. Paul says, what model vehicle? It's a Ford Escape. It's 2005, so it's old, and it's got a gazillion miles, but it's been a really good vehicle. Donna says, any new bird feeders? No, we haven't made any new bird feeders. I keep thinking of some more projects that Haley and I can do. She's going to be home in a couple weeks on Christmas break. So I'm trying to think, you know, is there something that we try to knock out during that time? And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Sam says, yep. It sounds good. I'm going to have to look that up a little bit more. Jim says 5K is a nice payment on something. That's where I'm at, man. That's the hard part. You know, if I could find someone to swap in a used one, I would probably do that for now, just to buy a little bit of time. I just can't find a shop that'll do that. At least not, you know, that's not somebody under the tree in their backyard. Robert says, if you buy anything else to drive, it's always a question mark on how well the other vehicles will last or how well it's been maintained. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That's why I keep going back and forth. We've owned this vehicle since it had, what did it have on it when we got it? Like 70,000 miles or something like that. You know, so we've put you know, a lot of miles on it, and I know everything that's been done to it from that point forward, from around that 70,000 mile mark all the way to 256,000 miles. And a lot of it I've done myself, but I mean, we've had a few repairs made that was not something that I was going to do, but yeah, it's kind of tough. Harry Dude says, sometimes it's worth fixing the car, you know, rather than buying a bucket of someone else's problems. That's the other thing that worries me. But I mean, you know, if I can find one with a decent amount of mileage, reasonable amount of mileage, I should say, that's, you know, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's just a little bit, just a little frustrating, maybe. Like I said, life, you're going along and you think things are going pretty good, and then kabam! Transmission goes out in one of your vehicles. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I like being able to brainstorm it with you guys, though. Thanks for listening to me brainstorm about troubles. Sam says, sausage bap is 2 sausages sliced down the center lengthways, then placed in buttered burger buns with ketchup and even grilled onions. Sam, it sounds, man, both of those sound good. Now, here's, what if you took the sausage and then put the bacon on top, right? Combine the two? Huh? Paul says, yeah, it might be time to get rid of the Escape. Are you at that midlife buy a Corvette age yet? Could buy an LS3 for the van, make it a sleeper. I'd put an LS in it. Yeah, I'm not at midlife buy a Corvette. It'd be more like midlife buy a oh, I don't know, an old Monte Carlo or an old Nova or something like that. It wouldn't be a Corvette for sure. Robert says, I have an 05 Focus with a little over 135,000. Wow, that is quite low mileage, I would say, for that year, Robert. That's cool. Jim says, 5K's over value. No brainer. Get something new. Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself. Robert says it's a manual. Right on. I miss driving manual. Haven't had a manual in a long time. Robert says, best of luck to you with whatever you decide to do. Well, thank you, Robert. Yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out. We'll come to terms with what we need to do and you know, make that decision. Like I said, it's just kind of one of those things that, you know, you just didn't expect, like life does to us sometimes, and makes you stop and go, well, that was inconvenient. And then you just figure it out and move on. Sam says, in the UK, we do chip fries BAP too. Really? Man, that sounds good. I need to find, I think there's a restaurant around here that serves UK foods. I might have to go visit that and see if they have those. That sounds really good. Robert says, making me hungry. Robert, you and me both. Jim says, Sam, you had me at hello. Bacon. Yes. Sam says, manual's more popular in Britain. We do have automatics too. Jim says, yes, get the money back. That would be awesome. You got to get the Diplomat. We'll bring back old times, man. Robert says, my bad. The Ford is a 2015. My Dodge Dakota is the 05. Both have about the same mileage. That's still, I mean, the Dodge with 115,000, 05, that's pretty darn good, I would say. Yeah, anyway, we will figure that out, what we're going to do. I think we're going to probably, I don't know. I'm leaning towards I should get something new, but you know, if I could find somebody to swap in a used, like I said, then I would probably do that right now, just to get another little bit of time out of it. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm not worried. It was just a headache, like I said, that I didn't expect. So earlier, I mentioned that I'd started another project aside from working on the acoustic guitar. I want to give you a sneak peek. I'm really excited about this one, and I think that it's going to be pretty cool. We'll find out. The reason I started this one, well, first off, I'm making a knife. I might have mentioned this, but from a horseshoe knife. The reason I started on this one is because I need to harden this, and I don't have a forge. So I needed to get this ready because I'm going to be using our local farrier's forge to harden this. He's already said that, so I wanted to have it ready so that when he's got a chance to come by, we're going to slap these in the forge and harden them, and then I can finish them up. So I've already started on the video for this. It's probably half edited, so I've got most of it done. I just need him to come by. We harden these, and I don't know when he's coming by, so I wanted to stop, get these ready, so that whenever he does come by, I can just basically grab these, we can get them in the forge, get them hardened, and yeah. I probably got a couple days into this, got these made, and I also came up with some little leather sheaths for it. I got those all made. I've got, well, I'm making 2 of them. This is the second one. I've got the scales roughed out, but I'm not going to attach them or anything. So these things are almost done. I'm just waiting for, like I said, waiting for him to come by, throw these in the forge. I think these are going to be cool. So these are not normal, like a steel horseshoes. I mean, they're steel, but these are sliders. They're you know, they're flat. They don't have like the bumps and ridges and things like a normal horseshoe. I had one here. What'd I do with it? There it is. Hang on. You know, like this, you might think of when you think of a normal horseshoe. This is basically the shape of them already. And I was carrying a pair of them the other day, and I'm like, ooh, that would be kind of cool. And Robert, I think, just said it in the comment. Looks like an ulu. Yes, that is what inspired these. I've made little blades. I made a marking knife once, but anything like this I've never done. Where I had to do a lot of stock removal using the belt grinder. But yeah, inspired by an ulu. So this has been really fun, and I'm really excited to get these done. You know, I don't know why, but this one, I've been pretty excited about this whole project, almost more so than any project I've done in quite a while. Maybe a little more than the acoustic, but not quite. but yeah, it'll have a wood scale. This one's going to get these here. I've got maple and walnut. It's going to have maple and walnut scales, similar to these. This is rosewood, an offcut from a fretboard. Then I'm going to use some brass pins to epoxy them in place. This is what I've been working on up until yesterday, making the little sheaths and just getting everything shaped. So don't tell anybody that you saw this ahead of time. And hopefully, I'd like if he could get out here, I don't know, in the next couple days. I just don't know. It might not be till next week or something. So, but that's why I just pressed pause on everything and got this as far as I could get it. So that way, once he gets a chance to come by, then you can just throw them in the forge, and we can harden them up, quench them in some oil. And let's see. Sam says Walmart owns a UK supermarket chain in Asda. Interesting. Jim says the motor is still in my possession. I know. I wish I had the 355 from the Monty. I wish I'd have kept that block. I don't know why I didn't, but you know how that period of time went. Robert says the USA is backwards on the transmissions. Everyone went lazy over here and want automatic. Yeah, I know. It's almost like you can't find manual anymore. Not as much anyway. Paul says, is he going to temper it for you also? I'm going to temper it myself. So my goal is, whenever he comes over here, you know, he already said that, you know, we can use the forge. We're gonna heat it up, quench it, basically to harden it, and that's really all he needs to do. Then I'll take it and throw it in the oven. Here, I'll just use the home oven and you know, put it through a couple of heat cycles, 400 degrees for an hour. Do that twice, and that should temper it down. I believe, at least from the research that I've done. I'll do that here, and then I can get it all cleaned up and you know, get it sharpened from there. So yeah, all I need him to do is cook it in the forge. That's it. Whoa, sorry, I forgot to put the thing on quiet here. Sam says, cool knife, Jeff. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, and Robert says similar to the ulu. Yep. Yeah, that. Like I said, that was the inspiration. You know, so I think it'll just be kind of fun. Heritage says, a friend and I just bought a little 2-burner forge to start forging basic stuff. We've watched too much Forging Fire. Wish us luck. Harry dude, that's awesome. Jim, is it frozen? Are we frozen on the screen? It's not frozen here. Sorry if it is frozen and where you're watching. It doesn't look frozen here. Everything's been going smoothly. But Harry Dude, that is so cool. And isn't Forged in Fire such a cool show? There's a blacksmith, kind of a school. I don't know if I want to call it a school, but it kind of is a school. Called Kilroy's Workshop here in Colorado Springs. And the owner, Ron, was on Forged in Fire. And as well as, I forget who else. I think his daughter, he was on with his daughter, I believe, as well as some people that have worked there that now I think one of the guys works over at our like farrier supply, blacksmith supply shop. So there's several people around here that I sort of know. But if you watch that one with Ron Hardman, so if you haven't seen that episode, he's local, and I've met him. I haven't been to their new location they're at now, but when he was at his old location, which was very near me, I went over there and he showed me around the shop and we hung out and BS'd for a little while, and it was super cool. And then to see that he's on Forged in Fire also was pretty awesome. So Harry Dude, that is cool. I want to get a forge. And I was talking to the farrier when he was here last week. I think he was here last Wednesday, and I was planning to start these and I started these on Thursday. And he was here Wednesday. I'm like, dang it, I should have started it, earlier. And then I could have had it done already, but I didn't. But I was talking to him about forge to look for, and he gave me a couple suggestions. Sam says Jeff's got the cutting edge of technology. Almost. It's almost cutting edge. Not quite sharp yet. Paul says, if you sold your soul to the sponsor devils, Vivor might send you a free forge. It's funny you mentioned that, Paul. I get emails from them all the time, about trying stuff out, and I haven't yet. But this project's kind of made me think about that a little bit. I don't know. But they do. They message me a lot. Like, want to try our stuff? I think most of you guys know, yes, I've done a few sponsored things. But for the most part, it's pretty sponsor free, for major sponsors. Most of that is for good reason. I don't want to just, if I tried to do a deal with every Amazon seller that contacted me, it'd be awful. It would be terrible. But yeah, I it's very rare that I do stuff like that, but Jim says, "Oh, I know. I got you. I got you, man." Here Dude says it was a Vivor one that we bought. Really? Which one was it? I'll be interested in knowing how that works out. Robert says I have a Damascus Ulu blade that I bought at a gun show. I need to put a handle scales on, but have to drill the holes for them. But I can't get a drill bit through. Really? Hang on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to help you or not. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm going to walk away, but I still have this microphone on. I have some blades here that I'm finding. Let me find one. Not blades, drill bits. All right, sorry about that. Had to step away for a second. These are, I don't know it's probably not the right size, but anyway, these are carbide tipped. Oh look, it's still brand new. Let me find one that's not brand new. I bought these a long time ago. I'm going to step away again here. I bought these a long time ago for a project I was working on when I was working the corporate world. I worked in maintenance and repair, equipment maintenance and repair. And I was drilling, I had to replace a bunch of bushings on some machine parts. And these were hardened steel. They were really hard. So I had to buy these carbide tip bits. And I still burned up, I probably bought half a dozen of them. Well, this one's chipped. I probably bought half a dozen of these things. Let me see if I can, there's a chip, I can't get it to focus. But I was surprised. Some of the machinists there was a couple machinists, really good machinists. They said, that's not going to work. But it did. So I don't know if you could find some carbide tip bits. Maybe buy a couple of them with some cutting oil, good cutting oil. My preference would be Tap Magic. That's like the only cutting oil that I use. Not sponsored or anything, but it works really well. And I would, look at this one's cooked. I don't even know why I saved this one. It's all burned. Probably because I wanted to try to sharpen it or something. But you might be able to get some carbide tip drill bits. It might get you through there with some cutting oil and, you know, slow speeds. But that's what I did. I went through regular twist drills by the handfuls until I bought these. Again, now this is probably not the size. These are 5/16. Probably not the size you want. But just an idea, because I know that these went through really hard metal little machine pieces, and they were super hard. So just something to look at, maybe. You might be able to get through. Paul says, learned blacksmithing growing up on a farm. Used to fix things and shoe my own horses. Oh, Paul, that's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, see, I grew up on a farm, but, you know, we didn't have horses. So I never got to learn that side of it. You know, we had to do a lot of fixing and repairs, you know, that sort of thing. You know, different metalworking type projects, but we never had to forge anything. And that is something that I'd like to know more about, you know, and get more into. I've thought about maybe even taking some classes at this local place just to get my feet wet and to kind of know the tools and some of the tools and materials that I need to get so that I can do some of this stuff here. Because if I had a forge, a way to heat this up myself, this would have been done already, and the video would be out this weekend. But that is one thing that I just had to reach out for some assistance on. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to have, you know, the tools and the skills to be able to do really whatever kind of project I'm trying to do. You know, I want to have at least a working knowledge of so many different things. And blacksmithing is just one that I really don't have a whole lot of knowledge in. And I just think it's a cool trade, a cool craft. Okay. Sam says, Jim says, not now. Oh, good. Sam says, perhaps make an emergency multi-tool knife, for example, cutting, tightening up nuts, fishing hook removal, sawing wood. It's right here. It's always on me. One of the things that part of my EDC, as they say, I always have this Leatherman on me. I don't use it all the time, but it is always on me. Pliers, cutters, saws, knives, screwdrivers, you name it. Paul says, been watching a lot of the Indian Pakistan videos where they make knives and stuff from old steel stuff. Interesting to watch. Yes, I love being able to watch a skilled blacksmith, you know, take whatever material and make things. One channel that I would recommend, if you guys haven't seen it, look up Engel's Coat Shop. If you've never heard of him, Dave, I believe, is the guy's name, and he's up in Montana, and he builds like wagon wheels and old stagecoaches and stuff like that, and it's so cool to watch the process, you know, when he has to make parts and pieces and stuff. So that's my recommendation for you. Robert says, I tried to soften the spots with the holes, or where the holes need to be, but it's still too hard. If I had a drill press, I could probably get it drilled. Robert, I would look for some carbide bits. That would be my suggestion. That might get you through with some good cutting oil. I mean, you could use just about anything, motor oil, WD-40, any kind of, you know, got to oil it. Clamp that sucker down. If you're using a hand drill, for sure, clamp that thing down. Try some carbide bits. Maybe that'll get you through. Paul says, Vevor will load your shop up with tools. Talk about opening Pandora's box. They have a lot more stuff than I thought they did, though. I was looking through their website or whatever, and they do have a lot of things. Jimmer says, sponsor better have really good stuff to get any accreditation from you. Yeah, then that's the thing, you know. Yeah, you know, I like to be able to use whatever the thing is. If I don't, you know, I get people emailing me about some, you know, heated dog bowl. It's like, do you even watch what is on the channel? You know, and they always start the email off with something like, oh, we love what you're doing on YouTube and we think our product will be a good fit. And it's a heated dog bowl or some, you know, a can crusher. Do you even look? Harry Dude says, the only other Vevor tool I have is the dent puller stud welder thingy. Does the job, no complaints. I think I saw that too. That looks handy. Mike says, hit the like, gotta go. Tap Magic cutting oil. Thanks for the recommendations. Yes, Tap Magic is awesome. Again, not sponsored, not affiliated, any of that sort of stuff. Tap Magic works great, and I've got a can of it right over there, and it's awesome. We used to use that when I worked in town, and I really grew to really like it. So yes, hit the thumbs up button if you guys haven't done it yet. Mark says, hey, I'm wanting to build a telly for my brother. First time build. I got some pine with some really awesome chatoyance effect at Lowe's, of all places. Would it be too soft for a body? No. It's my understanding, Paul, I know you can chime in because you use pine. Some of the early tellies were made out of pine, and I see no reason to not use pine. I have built two bodies out of pine before and never had an issue. You know, as long as it's good and stable and dry, I don't see why you can't use it. Would it be too soft? I don't think so. You know, it depends. The only issue you might have, and again, you guys chime in if you have any thoughts on this. The only issue with it being soft, it's going to dent easy, right? So if that's an issue, then you gotta look at maybe putting a more durable finish on there if you're worried about that. But overall, that's the only thing I can think of. You know, if you bump it, it could dent. But for me, I don't care about that. You know, part of me says that even gives it character. But no, there's no reason you can't use pine as long as it's solid and dry. I say give it a shot. Paul says, I still make knives. My forge doubles as a pot holder when not using it. Made it myself. Propane driven, blow dryer pipe, works great. I've thought about building them as well. I've seen people doing plans and shown how to make them out of the different fittings and things. I've even, quite a few years ago, I even picked up like a bunch of those fire bricks that I was going to use to line one because I wanted to build one years ago. I still have the bricks stashed away, but I haven't made the forge yet. Jimmer says, no horses. We had horsepower though. Yes, we did. And did it sound good? Robert says, you know, I just thought of something. Seems like so many young people these days have no repair skills. It should be mandatory that they go work on a farm or ranch for at least a year. I agree with that. I think that would that'd be very beneficial. You know, or something along those lines. Yes. You go work on a farm, ranch, something like that, you're going to learn so many skills. She didn't even know we're out there. Yeah, go work on a dairy farm, which is what I did. You'll have to do just about everything. Sam says, DeWalt multi-tool has an okay-ish knife, but useless scissors. You know, these little scissors here, and if you guys have ever used them, the Swiss Army knife scissors, they're almost like this. I think those are great. And these are also awesome little scissors. When I first got this thing, I'm like, man, those things are tiny. How's that even gonna? But they cut like no other. They cut better than like kitchen scissors that we have. And these little things are great. Sam says, thanks for the fantastic stream today. Well, Sam, you are welcome. And thank you. And thank you all for being part of it. Let's see. Sam says, thanks, Neptune, for your time today. Yes, thank you, Neptune. I'm glad you could join in today. Sam says 2 degrees Celsius in UK. Burr, what's that? 2 degrees. 2 degrees, yeah, about 34 Fahrenheit. Mark says character. Sounds good. Right on. Robert says the only issue with pine for long term is dent and scratches. Easier. If that isn't an issue, go for it. Check the moisture level in the wood. Well said, Robert. It's kind of where I was going with it, but I think you said it better. Sam says Americans love ranch. I love ranch. I like to put ranch on stuff. Mark says this is my first live show I caught. I gotta go. Thanks for the info. Wish you would do the lives in the evenings. There's been, over the last couple years, I have gone back and forth and weighed the times. But Mark, I'm glad you could tune in today. And every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. If you get a chance to tune in, I'd love to have you back. And maybe I need to throw in some bonus lives in the evenings. Let me know your thoughts on that. Paul says, love my Leatherman. Have a great week, guys. Yes, my Leatherman, I don't leave without it. I don't go anywhere without it. Maybe one day we'll talk EDC stuff and get into that. That sounds like a fun topic. So anyway, guys, I think this is a good spot to wrap this up. I'm going to keep an eye out for when the farrier comes by so I can finish these little blades. In the meantime, I got an acoustic to get polished up, and that's what I'm going to go back to tackling. So I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in, taking some time, sitting with us, hanging out with us, drinking some coffee together, just having a good time like we always do. Harry Dude says, I have the Leatherman Skeletool. Love them. That's one I've been wanting to try, the Skeletool. I think that one's pretty cool as well. Mine is the Charge. This is, yeah, the Leatherman Charge. But yeah, they're all great. I've got some of the original ones and all that. Always good to have a multi-tool on you. Sam says, be safe, everyone. Robert says, everyone, have a great one. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you, guys. Again, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button before we sign off. Love to have you on as a subscriber. Oh yeah, as a side note, we just topped, the channel just topped 90,000. We're on the push for 100. It's got a ways to go yet, but if you're not already subscribed, hit that sucker and subscribe to the channel. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you're all having a great week, especially as we roll into Christmas. Wow. Get ready for Christmas, too. Alrighty, guys. Heritage says, see you all next week. Ace Man McCool says, cheers. Enjoyed listening to the chat. Right on. We're going to wrap this one up. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys all stay. Yeah, Heritage says, now for that pesky button. Okay, really quick before I hit that button. I think I've explained this before. There's a little button. I don't know where, you guys can't see it, but right up here in this top corner, there's a little X. Like right there. I press the X and it's, to end the live. Well, I press the button. No matter how careful I try to press that, and I hit it, it doesn't go. And I hit it again. It's almost every time. I legitimately am not doing that on purpose. It's just this little X right there. And I hit that thing and it doesn't work. It's literally almost every time. It's funny. I mean, kind of, but I'm seriously not intentionally trying to do that. I'm pushing the button and it's not going, but anyway, guys, thanks a lot. You guys have a great week. Get on your shops, make some cool stuff, have fun, be safe. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, all. Oh, it worked.